So whether you're listening on iTunes, one of your downloading podcast thingy-mabobs, maybe SoundCloud, or maybe on the YouTube, whatever way you're listening, welcome to Gamify 24/7!
Whoa, well.
What episode are we now, guys? Is this 17?
17.
Dancing Queen.
17 Dancing Queen. We're now able to drive cars, which is good.
The future's marvellous.
I only have a motorbike licence, so I'm screwed.
I see you're in trouble. All right, then. So a few things to get through this week. And first of all, apologies for the slightly blocked version of me today. I've got a little bit of a cold. I don't know if it's cold or hay fever or a combination of the two, probably. But anyway, it means...
No, what's funny about that is you're still clearer than me. Your voice is still cleaner than my voice.
You're clear. You just got a very deep timbre. Or
timbre.
I know it's timbre, but like timbre sounds better.
Sorry, I was like, I know things.
I like timber better.
Timber. Yeah, we'll say timber. All right then. So today, before we move on to all our talky bits, before we start, Shaun, just remind people how they can get in touch with us. We normally do this at the end, but I thought it might be good to do it at the start, just in case anyone turns off before the end, I guess.
Get them before they leave.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, you can find us on all social media network under SmallFryUnify. That's spelled as like a small fry unify. Anyway, you'll find that, I'm sure. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. Most of the podcasts, though, all of the podcasts are on YouTube, and that's a little bit more visual. A couple of pictures in there. It's a little bit better to go and find. You don't have to sign up or anything, so you can go and check that out. But yeah, if you have got Apple Podcast or SoundCloud, we're on there as well. Yeah,
iTunes is quite helpful if you're someone who listens in the car, because then obviously it just auto downloads for you when you've got a new episode, and there you go. Bob's your uncle. You're listening to Gamify 24/7 on your way to work in the morning. Or you can do it on any of those things. Anyway, let's move on then. So first of all, Zelda has been taking over the universe this year, and talk about Zelda Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, who here would buy and give up their entire life to do this?
If they do a collecting, if they do a Pokemon Go type thing with it, I'll probably be in for like a week or two.
Yeah, maybe just like I seem to have tried all the Nintendo mobile stuff for like a couple of minutes, and that's about it. I think with the Switch now, I'd just rather have it on the Switch. We've got a full Zelda, and it's good enough. I don't need the mobile. But I think if that hadn't been there, I'd be interested to try the mobile.
What does it do?
No, this is the thing. It's like Pokemon Go, you can understand because there's no Pokemon game on the Switch yet, and people are waiting for it. But I think as soon as you get a main game,
the going outside and catching the Pokemon, I get that part. What am I doing with Zelda on my phone?
Catching Kokoros?
Yeah, what's the game? What do I do?
Dunno.
To be honest, I don't think we're really the target demographic for these mobile games. For instance, why would we go out and buy money to not buy money buy the new Super Mario Run when we have 3DSs and Switches that can play Mario, and it's like, why would we play Pokemon when we can play Sun and Moon? So I don't really think we're the target demographic. I think it's more so for people who have maybe like fallen off of Nintendo, like the core casual market that has moved from the Wii and DS over to mobile.
Well, what is the biggest thing? Like, what's one of the main things in Zelda? I'm just asking here. I don't know myself, like personally. Like playing Breath of the Wild, there's obviously like a bunch of things in that, but you know, like Super Mario Run was kind of almost like a runner type game. Mm-hmm. So there's probably something within Zelda they'll say that's a fundamental feature of Zelda, and we're just going to focus on that one aspect. You know,
maybe archery, because I know they've done the bow game, and then Nintendo Land, the mini game in there was primarily archery. So maybe that. Yeah. But again, I'm not too sure.
Like collecting rupees or
exploring.
It'll be something simple, I'm sure.
Well, Kat doesn't look convinced.
I'm not at all. I just could see it being one of those stupid things where everyone has to get so many friends on it as well and share crap that I don't want to see.
I can get friends?
What are those?
Well, that's
explain.
That could be the stumbling block.
Like Miitomo, that's what I'm thinking of, really. which was fun for like 2 days or something, and then I got bored. Once I'd collected all the cat merchandise for my character, I was done.
It is.
I just went in there and it was like therapy. It's like, tell me about yourself. I'm like, don't get in my mind.
I know, I quite liked the discussion about me in it, because I was like, yeah, I quite like somebody taking an interest in what I like. But then I didn't want to read what everyone else liked, because I was like, I don't care. I just wanted to talk about myself. That's why I'm here.
I think that it's interesting that Nintendo are going down the gaming on mobile platform route further, because they had the success with Pokemon Go that we all know, Super Mario Run as well, and it's something that I don't think we could have predicted 3-4 years ago. I don't think we would have predicted Pokemon, Mario and also Zelda potentially being on a mobile platform. So it's interesting from that point of view, and I guess it is trying to get that market, as Anton said, that market that maybe aren't quite going to be putting their money into a Switch or maybe even a Wii U, but maybe want to have a little bit of nostalgia and something new at the same time, and maybe it's that kind of market that they're aiming for. I guess we'll probably hear more with E3 just around the corner. They might well mention it there, I guess.
I think, like, just to add to all that, I think, you know, Nintendo from the very start with their mobile thing, they were obviously reluctant to do it, but they've pretty much been quite straight up about this, that they want that to be a bridge to their main consoles. And I think, you know, as long as they kind of stick to what they've done, like, you think of Super Mario Run, you think of Pokemon Go, if they brought up a full-fledged Pokemon on the Switch, that's a perfect way to get people into that. I think as long as they keep it like that, they don't put on a full-fledged version of the game on the mobile device, I'm cool with it if it brings people into the main consoles.
Yeah. As well as that, the thing that would be interesting to see is we've got the developer of the mobile Nintendo games. They're making games for Switch. DNA, yes, yeah. Correct. So it'd be interesting to see if this might be one of the first DNA games that makes it to Switch, and if so, how would that work?
Well, they did say they're making games on Switch, didn't
Indeed.
they? Yeah. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, it'll be interesting again with the Nintendo stuff on mobile platforms, as you say, very much for the people that are trying to kind of maybe play casually. Not Cat's not interested whatsoever. She's just not sold. It's not happening.
No, sorry.
We'll get her with one game eventually.
Someday, maybe.
Kill Flanders 7.
Oh,
Talking of a Nintendo game that we all like, I've proposed a new segment. What is your Shaun's opinion and Mike's opinion of Animal Crossing?
I really like it.
So,
how about yourself?
Well, I've never played it, but I think I probably would. In the same way that I like Viva Pinata, and I like that kind of experience where it's not necessarily about killing things and shooting things all the time, and management type games. Yeah, I think Animal Crossing on the Switch will happen fairly soon. I mean, there's already rumours that that's going to happen soon. I think that it will be successful, and I think that they could, like they have done with Zelda, really move it on. I saw a review for is it the 3DS? There's been a new Animal Crossing come out. Is that on the 3DS?
Well, no, there was New Leaf that was a while ago, and there was the Happy Homes designer and stuff. But they're going to be making a mobile version of Animal Crossing. It was meant to be out now,
right?
But they've delayed it until next year. I think it was the end of this year.
I read a review of one of the most recent Animal Crossings, and it was less than complimentary in terms of progression. It hadn't progressed any, and I think that's the only thing with it, is that maybe once you played one, maybe you wouldn't want to go back and do the whole thing again in a different format. Maybe, I don't know.
I disagree with that, just because I really like Animal Crossing. Like on the original DS. Yeah, what was it called again?
Was it Wild Worlds?
Yeah, that was really good. I liked that one. The Wii one was not the best one at all. That was Let's Go to the City or something.
Indeed.
Yeah. But they totally redid it again with New Leaf. I loved that one. And there's a little island you could go to. It was so good. And playing with other people on the island was amazing. Yeah, I really, really got into that.
It's got so much potential to be an amazingly massive game. Josh Thomas from the Bit Block, if you want to go online and check out his mock-ups of what he wants to see in future versions, and he talked about this before they showed Happy Home Design. It was the other one. It was Amiibo Festival. He showed off his design, and it was phenomenal. But it had done everything I thought City Folk was going to do, or Let's Go to the City was going to do, where you would go to other people's villages and you could interact with them.
Yeah.
But what happened on the Wii version, you went there, it was nothing happened. It was just a wee crappy little town square.
Yeah.
But New Leaf, they kind of fixed some of the stuff.
Yeah, that you got to go with the dream thing.
The dream bit, yeah.
You could go into other towns, and it was really cool actually the way people had designed them.
But what Josh Thomas has got is he's got it so instead of travelling by the train or the bus, you actually travel to other people's towns or villages via hot air balloon. And it looks amazing. It looks so cool. So imagine
really
full-on
cute.
villages and you can go and like do it online.
I love it. I love getting all the nice villagers that you like. Figure out who's nice to have and who isn't. I remember forcing a donkey called Roscoe to just leave my town because I really hated him. So I would just, whenever I saw him out, I would just run into him until he got really angry. You know, like you keep running into somebody and they get quite angry. And I'd plant loads of pitfall seeds around him so he'd fall into all the pitfalls and not help him out. So,
Evil.
The rat.
But if you look up Roscoe, he was such a grumpy little donkey. I just didn't want him. He just brought the vibes clearly the wrong place for my town. I didn't want it.
What I liked about Zelda was for me, or what I like about Zelda is that I can go into the game and play for an hour or 2 hours without actually really doing very much. And that sounds insane, but sometimes it's just what you need from a game. And I think that that's where Animal Crossing could really work for me. It's just being able to escape and manage and not have to go and fight things and get frustrated at losing constantly.
It is good for that, but it's also a little bit frustrating because you need to remember that it kind of works in real time.
Oh, right.
Like shops will be closed after a certain time, so you can't go in, and if you're like, oh crap, I forgot to go and check to see what new stuff is in the shop, the shops are closed now. Or I missed so-and-so's birthday party, oh, I'm a terrible mayor, and stuff like that. So yeah,
and if you're not careful,
stressful.
Nuke starts hunting you down, getting his money. He's a right. Oh.
Yeah, you need to keep paying Tom Nook back for your house forever.
But talking about that, you're saying there about like the time thing. I like when they first announced Happy Home Designer, I thought this would be a great opportunity to bring out something like New Leaf, but add that stuff in there as part of the game. So instead of having
like
these
as a little job for you.
we'll just put in there as like a separate mode. So instead of having all these separate games that were like separate games that people really enjoyed, like the Happy Home Designer, you would actually have that as part of the main game. So it's like you've got loads of options there to do stuff. So instead of like following the time, you could just go in and rearrange your house.
Nice. The reason I would have, I quite liked the idea of that as a separate game is because you got all the stuff that you needed to decorate anyway. Whereas in the actual Animal Crossing game, I couldn't be bothered decorating. Like that happy home place that comes and rates your house and stuff. I just like collecting things I think are cute and putting them in my house. I don't have time to look around and find all these random objects. It costs you a fortune as well. Exactly, it costs a fortune trying to get all these matching objects in your house and building all these extra rooms and getting museum exhibits just to collect. And I just had all my drawers were full of the random crap. I just couldn't be bothered with that part of it. But that's my hoarder nature coming back to haunt me in that game. You can't really properly be a hoarder in Animal Crossing. So
what I think would be really cool in the future if they release a new Animal Crossing is on the podcast, is maybe like it just at the end if we all had like an Animal Crossing diary and just discuss the random nonsense.
That would be really cute, but again, I don't have a Switch.
Oh.
So unless somebody's gonna like buy me one, there's a new Animal Crossing.
well, there is a mobile version we're talking about, so maybe they'll have something tied in.
Also, my sister's moving in with me and she has one, so she has.
Hey!
So I will have one like in my flat come the end of the summer. So I might get involved.
Kat will be in here in a couple of months' time and she'll be going on about Zelda saying, it's the greatest game ever. And we'll say, we told you so.
I can see it now. I can see it now. We can see what's going to happen. And, you know, we all know that's going to happen, Kat. So you can lie to yourself all you like, but you're going to love it.
See, I'm not ruling it out. I'm just thinking, like, I need them to have some more games for me to want to get.
Ubisoft have had a difficult kind of couple of weeks with some slump in sales and forecasting that they've had to kind of readjust what they're looking at for the future. Let's just chat about Ubisoft. They've also announced their E3 press conference date as well, so they'll hopefully have a few announcements.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
What was the announcements you were mentioning, Anton, before?
Oh yes, essentially they're looking at completely changing their strategy in which they're going for less games that make more money. So they're going, rather than having 5 AAA games a year, I think they're going down to 4. And as well as that, they're not planning on selling 40 million copies per game. They're looking to sell only 20 million copies per game, but making it so each game is far more profitable. So they're going to microtransactions the hell out of them.
At the same time, that's like a good, it's like I'd rather they focus and put their effort into a couple of games and get them good than spreading it too thin, having their fingers in so many pies.
Because money is the sort of goal here, it's not really for the right reasons, is it?
Yeah.
That's kind of what annoys me.
You should be doing it for the love of it.
Yeah, you should be doing it for the people who want to play your games, so you make actual good games.
What games are we going to see
churning
then?
them out.
What games are we going to see?
Well, more Assassin's Creed for sure. Yeah, it's happening.
I think we've got Assassin's Creed Empire, which is going to be more open world. It's going to be less structured.
Is that the one set in Egypt?
In Egypt,
yeah.
yes. Then we've got Far Cry 5, and we've got The Crew 2, which is also going to be open up world.
Never played that before, but
I won't lie, not a fan of The Crew. But the thing that scared me with Ubisoft's new strategy, the games they're taking inspiration from are the new Ghost Recon Wildlands for Honor. I'm like, looking at these games, I'm like,
really?
They're very high profiting because their microtransactions are really strong, especially For Honor, because I don't know if you remember the drama there.
Which one was that again?
that's one that was like the iPhone game. Remember the fighting iPhone game? It was like when it first came out, or the iPad one. It was like with the guys you had like a warrior guy would go up and fight at the castles, and you'd have to swipe across the screen. I forgot what it's called.
I'm not too sure of this iOS game.
Anyway, it was a pretty cool game. It was pretty addictive. But yeah, that was on microtransactions as well.
Yeah, I think people got mad with For Honor because it had like £750 worth of microtransactions, and if you wanted to get every item in the game and complete it, it would take like 2.5 years of straight playing.
That's ridiculous. See, no, I'm not a fan of that. I think we should boycott crap like that. I can't be dealing.
Yeah, unfortunately, people are willing to pay that money, and people will keep paying that money.
People are losers. I'm sorry. I'm in a raging Monday mood today, but like, come on, guys. You can do better.
Yeah.
You can play so many better things. Like, when did it become a thing that's just like, the more money you have, the better you'll be at a game? That's just stupid.
Well,
Yeah, pay to win.
maybe this is the game to change your attitude to that, Cat. What about Call of Duty on the Switch?
That says it all. My rolling of the eyes and just like, ugh. Yeah, no, I won't be getting Call of Duty probably for the PlayStation, which I already own, let alone the Switch. I've never really been a big fan of Call of Duty, sorry.
It's just a rumour though, isn't it, just now, so...
Yeah, but the World War II thing looks alright. I'm more of a fan of that than space.
That's probably...
I like space, but...
That's probably the one thing that would have me even looking at it is the World War II setting. And like you, Kat, I love space-based games, but I just don't see it as a Call of Duty thing, you know?
Exactly, but I enjoy lots of World War II kind of things. Like, I like learning about it, and I think films and TV series and things like Band of Brothers and everything, I love those because they're accurate and heartwarming, and you're just like, oh wow, this actually happened. Oh my god, it's insane and horrible at the same time. Worst and best of human nature all in one thing. But then I think in my head, Call of Duty kind of resonates more with dude bro culture of stuff like that, and cheesy lines that they'll say before they kill Nazis or something. I don't want that. I can't do that. Like, that's it. You're not gonna make money out of something that actually happened, like the war, because that's like disrespectful and horrible.
So there is
that's what they're trying to do here.
There is the rumour then that Call of Duty is going to be heading for the Switch, and I do think that there's going to be a market there on the Switch for this type of game, whether it's Call of Duty or not, because you've got the portability thing. Now, that could be a game changer in terms of online play, for me anyway, because if you're in a situation at home where you play on one main television in the house, and you're able to just flip out of that within a split second and take the thing away and go play elsewhere, or play in the same seat that you were in the first place, just stick the headphones on. That, for me, has real potential. Whether or not Call of Duty... I mean, I'm much more excited about Splatoon than I am Call of Duty, but but that's the idea. I think that's got some real potential there for the Switch.
Yeah, definitely. And not even that. For us people who aren't into that kind of stuff, bringing more users to the Switch just means there's going to be more other games.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that's worrying about that, like with games like Destiny, we're getting the idea that it's not going to be coming to the Switch, is the rumour is that, I think, who is it? Is it BMax? I'm trying to find this on my phone here, sorry. I think the company is BMax. They're the ones that, I've probably got the name wrong here, they're the ones that ported Call of Duty before in the past to PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. And what happened was, they're the ones that have been posting stuff up about it, but we know there's not a PlayStation 3 or an Xbox 360 version coming. But we also don't know there's a Switch version coming, so it might not mean anything at all. Right. But the fact that they have ported Nintendo versions before, that's where the rumour's stemming from. So I'm hoping there is some truth behind it. I'm hoping it does turn out we've got something like that. But the fact that things like Destiny is not even coming out, you know, people can say, oh, it's because of the power and stuff. I didn't really go along with that. I'm pretty sure if they wanted to make it for the PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360, they could. But they're using the idea or the excuse that it's because of the online part. Even though we're going to have things like Splatoon 2, ARMS, Mario Kart are online and they're all fine. So I just didn't buy that. You know, so I'm kind of worried that we're going to miss out on some big games. But again, Nintendo's always had this problem for the last 15 years. It's always been about Nintendo's first party games instead of third party games. So I'm just hoping they seem to be getting enough coming out that it's fine. But will it last? I don't know.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll certainly see what happens with this and other games being ported to the Switch. I mean, I know it's certainly been mixed in terms of what people have been saying, whether or not they're gonna port stuff or not even port, but develop for the Switch. It's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, the Call of Duty rumor. We might get more information at E3. We're kind of in that weird place right now where we're just kind of waiting for all the announcements to happen, so we're kind of stuck. However, this week we did see some gameplay from Destiny 2. Did any of you guys get a chance to have a look?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I watched the presentation. You know what, it actually looked quite cool. We kind of discussed it a little bit briefly on Games Lounge episode 3. But like a really quick bit, the things like the clans, they're bringing in some of the clan stuff that people have been asking for a while, and they've got a couple other things with matchmaking services. One of the things that I did think was quite cool, and it reminded me of Phantasy Star Online, as you guys know, it's my favourite game of all time, was that idea that you can jump into a team or a group of people and they will kind of show you around and protect you and teach you some of the stuff or help you build up your character. And what they've done is they've got the clan system type thing where if you've got a clan but you're waiting for someone to join your team, but you've got that one space open, you can come in as a brand new user of Destiny 2 or a brand new player and you can join them and they can selectively choose whether they want to let you come in for that session and they can bring you on board essentially to show you and guide you through it. And then they can just get shot at you at the end. But it gives that sort of kind of dimension there where now you can jump in. And I'm hoping that people will use that and be like, yeah, come in, we're like experts, come in as a noob, we'll show you some of like the ways of the world in Destiny 2 and we'll help you build up and give you some cool stuff. And it may be quite cool, but it's just whether people actually take that on. If people just ignore everything, ignore, it's a noob.
Yeah, I mean, you're the one that is it Anton. You've played. You're still quite into Destiny, the first one, although you don't have anyone to play with. Is that right?
Yeah, indeed. I really wanted to like that first Destiny, but just nobody's there. On the bright side, though, with this one, I did watch the gameplay trailer. What only had like a couple milliseconds of gameplay here and there, so I can't really judge the gameplay. I wouldn't really. Yeah, it's not really that much. But bar that, I'm quite excited. They've added a lot more personality to this one. The first one was really stale when it came to story. It was kind of generic and just, oh, it's sci-fi. But this one, they've added characters. That's a good step in the right direction. Dialogue that's nice. So, you know, step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I like the idea as well that this one is, instead of coming in it as like the hero and you're already automatically amazing, this one you're coming in where the Travellers now, like this, I can't remember what the race is called, the Reds or something, they've come in and they've totally destroyed your whole bit and you're having to try and get your stuff back. So it's like you're starting off from a total underdog position there, which is quite cool, instead of being the guys that are like super powerful, you know, Titans or whatever.
Because, yeah, and Titanfall, not Titanfall, getting mixed up with the shooters. Destiny 1, you're powered by light. And now that was like how Power True kind of like how Master Chief is powered. It's like, oh, science powers them. They've got rid of that now and they're just all weak, more human characters this time around.
Yeah.
I think I would probably be quite interested. So I'm going to keep an eye out because I'm still looking for an online experience that I can pick up and play and be really into. I think Splatoon will work for me, but PlayStation 4, I'm still looking for something. Go on then, Kat. What have you got?
I was going to... I'm following on for our Overwatch discussion last week. I'll just quickly say that the year anniversary celebration is happening, and it is happening on tomorrow, actually. Okay. So it's I'm pretty sure it's free. There'll be a free time for everyone. So if you want to just have a go for free, that's the time to do it.
How long is the thing for, though?
The free event?
Yeah.
I think it's usually 2 days that there's a free thing.
So when you listen to the podcast, that will still be on?
I think so, because I can't remember what exact day, I should Google it, that the free stuff's happening, but there's going to be the total anniversation celebration, so there's going to be new skins, I think new maps, it's going to be much fun.
Do you need the actual excuse me, do you need the game to actually get the...
I don't think so. If you're on PS4, I'm pretty sure that you can download it for free over that period. Usually it's a free weekend, but I'll double check right now. And you will obviously need the PS the subscription for PS Plus that you can play online. Yeah, you should be cool to play then for free.
I'll check that out. That sounds good.
So you should definitely. I want to have a look.
Jump on it
at when that's actually happening.
While you're checking that out, we've got some news on Sonic Forces, and fans are going to be able to play as their own original characters for the first time, which is exciting. And new gameplay kind of being showcased in little bit fits and spurts, really, not very much yet. But it's looking interesting, the new Sonic Forces game.
Indeed. I'm mixed. I've got lots of excitement on one side and not much on the other side. On one side, we've got the perfect team for making a Sonic game. We've got the team that made Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations, so we know they can make a good Sonic game. However, in the Sonic games, this is counted as part of the modern series of Sonic games. And we've never actually, for people who have been playing this, keeping up with the Sonic games, we haven't actually had a proper modern Sonic game. So we had Sonic Unleashed, what was half garbage, then half a good game. Then we had Sonic Generations, which was half a 2D game and then half a modern Sonic game. And then we had Colors that was filled with little gimmicks, so it was half gimmicks and half a modern Sonic game. And now they've split again, so it's we've got 1/3 of our new Sonic game that we've waited since 2013 with Sonic Generations, and then half of 2/3 of the game isn't even a modern Sonic game. But I imagine it'll still be a good game. Yeah. This new gameplay style is a bit scary because we know how Sonic's been with new gameplay styles as of late.
Is this the customization part?
Yeah, it's got a whole new gameplay style for it, what's based on power-ups and leashes and weapons. What doesn't spell the best when you know Sonic's history, Shadow the Hedgehog.
Does it kind of sort of say though that they're, when they do that kind of stuff, it's nice that they're adding customization stuff in there where you can build your own character, and they've got loads of different animals, don't they?
Indeed.
And they've got power-ups and stuff. But then it's not really Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah. 1/3 of this game is even Sonic.
So it's almost like they're not really that confident about the game, and they're trying to add this in there to give it a bit of appeal or something. But I don't know. The thing is, I've always thought Sonic itself, it was good when it came out at the time. It was a nice challenge to Mario. It was like the kind of polar opposites. He was cool, quirky, and it was fast. And it worked at the time. Now, 20 odd years later, 30 years later, nobody really cares about that running fast across the screen. I think it's kind of an old gimmick that's gone. And I think Sonic Adventure went in the kind of right direction. It kind of renewed it a little bit. It was a different type of game. But it's like they're trying to go back to the stuff with the Mega Drive that worked when that was the kind of games at that time.
Definitely.
I don't know if it was going to work that well.
I think you bring up a really good point on the idea that they're not confident. It's like they announced a brand new modern Sonic game, and everybody's like, because Generations and Colors were well received, the modern aspects of them. But then again, they're just pulling in 2D Sonic in there. It's like, this is maybe a new Sonic game, especially once we've got... This year we've got Sonic Mania, so we've got plenty of 2D Sonic. And it shows they've just not really got that much confidence as well as that. I feel like it's going to start confusing and diluting the brand if every Sonic game's got 2 different Sonic characters in there.
Can I ask a question that's not about Sonic games, but it's about sort of Sonic? Is Shadow the black Sonic?
Indeed, yeah.
Why is he in love with Shrek?
Everybody's in love with Shrek.
What, as in Shrek from
everybody loves Shrek.
What, is this like a meme or something?
Yes, I think so, and I don't understand it, but it's amazing. I don't get it, but it's great. And I just was always like, why? Why does he love Shrek so much? I just don't get it. They're like in love.
They're a cute couple, what can I say?
Just in case you knew.
I'll have to check this out.
One of my favourite images online is just the Bee from the Bee movie, Barry B. Benson.
Yes.
Lord Hero and
course.
Shrek just kissing, but it's on a Starbucks cup. And I just love it. I'm like, I need this as a
Yeah, you should
Starbucks.
get that cup because you love a bit of coffee.
That's your Christmas present.
Just for while I remember, the Overwatch free weekend, it's the weekend, will be running from the 26th to the 29th
Oh, that's good.
of May. It starts here in the UK at 7 p.m. on Friday, the 26th.
Got a bit of a dilemma then.
Yeah, it's ARMS, isn't it? Is it?
Yeah,
the ARMS weekend.
The
as
global
well.
test punch.
Yeah.
It's like we've got 3 days of that and 3 days of this.
Well, you should definitely give Overwatch a go. You can download it for free. If you've got PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, you can just go on your store and download it for free during this period. PC users, Windows PC users with a Battle.net account can also do the same.
I think I'm going to do both actually. I think I've got
mix up.
I've got some time off on Sunday, so and possibly even Friday night. Come to think of it, so I'm going to get them both downloaded.
You've got time off. Get back to
work. I know. Like just slacking. Okay. All good then. Sonic Forces, we'll keep an eye out. Interesting. I think that's going to split. I think the fact that they have the option to bring in your own Sonic hero will split the Sonic fan base community, but we will see. We will see what happens. And we're going to move on. Just before we move on to the Retro Corner, we did talk about cat litter. Now, I have come up with a game for Cat to go and play this week.
Thank you. Can I? The question was like, can I easily access this game?
Yes. So I made sure it's something that you can access. So, are you guys okay with me nominating a game for Cat?
Of course.
Go right ahead.
Great. This is one that you can download because it's so terrible and old that it's free.
Good.
1987 this came out, Cat, so you're going to love it. And it's on the ZX Spectrum.
Oh.
What the hell does that mean?
It's on oh my goodness, you are really young. The ZX Spectrum is this is the one that I've just bought. They've just come out with a new version of the ZX Spectrum on Kickstarter, and it's gone crazy. They've raised about £650,000, and I've bought a new one, and it's a new original Spectrum, and they've increased it from 128 kilobytes of memory to you're going to get a whopping 1 meg, right? That's a standard. That's a standard. Anyway, that's irrelevant. So the game that you're going to be playing is, if I say dum 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 da 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 da.
EastEnders.
EastEnders on the ZX Spectrum. I want you to go and play that this week.
My God, that sounds really good actually. I used to be quite a fan. Is it like an RPG? Can I take part in murders and affairs and things? That would be amazing.
You could call it an RPG, but you would be using your imagination for the R, the P, and the G bit.
You basically go around as Phil and you just batter people.
Okay,
was Phil even in it back then?
Let me explain what you have to do here, okay? So you play as a nondescript person on the corner of Albert Square, and it appears...
Tracy, then.
Well, you could be Tracy, you could be anyone you like. And it appears that you must do odd, pointless jobs for the residents of Albert Square. Now, these tasks are never explained, described throughout, okay, and it's never been checked for bugs before it got released for whatever reason. When this came out, this was full price. This was $9.99 to own this when it came out, and you are going to have the joy of playing it and reviewing it for Cat Litter for next week. So it's EastEnders on the ZX Spectrum. You'll be able to download it. I think World of Spectrum has pretty much all the games on there, and because it's so old, they've got an agreement for most of them, so you're fine and legal and all the rest of it.
Okay, hopefully that will run on my laptop then. Windows
I think it'll be 8. Fine.
You'll be fine.
Good times. I will.
If you had Windows 1, you'd be fine, so like Windows 95 will be all right. Okay.
I'm gonna have a go at that then. I'm looking forward to that. I think you sent me a link and something. I clicked on the link and it didn't work, and I thought that might be the game that would be really annoying if I couldn't play anything at all.
Yeah, just forget it. It was a point and click game, but they forgot to add the click.
Oh, that would definitely have been annoying for me.
Yeah.
It was quite annoying to not be able to even get onto it in the first place, but that would definitely have been it. Okay.
So
So Cat Litter will be back next week.
Yeah, well, Cat Litter,
we're
going to make that a regular thing now, and I think we should all have a chance to nominate a game for Cat. So
definitely.
I've started off with, well, actually, that's not true. Anton started off with killing Ned Flanders, and this is...
So next week, the picture for the episode's going to be, I take it, me as Phil Mitchell, continuing these me as a fat bald person pictures that we've got going on.
Looking forward to that already. So Shaun, you've got the task for thinking of one for next week for Cat Litter. Anton did give Cat another one this week, but hey, we'll go with this. So EastEnders, that'll be interesting to see how you get on with that. Good luck, Cat. You'll enjoy it. You'll love it.
Have fun.
And before we go on to the Retro Corner as well, I just wanted to say how excited I am for the announcement that was made by Nod of the Next Life is Strange game.
Oh,
yeah, I saw that.
I'm sure we're going to see, if it's published by Square Enix again, which the first one was, then we'll probably see that at E3 if Square Enix are going to be there.
Yeah, that'll be
good. I hope
good.
so, because it was really popular, the first one.
I haven't played the first one, but I hear really good things about it, so it's supposed to be really good.
You definitely should. And I've got the boxed version on PS4, so you're welcome to borrow that.
Hey, I will. That sounds fantastic. Okay, so we're going to move on then to the Retro Corner. Now, every week I either call it the Retro Section or the Retro Corner. I've made a decision. It's the Retro Corner because it sits in the corner of the podcast. So, Retro Corner time!
I can't go in there. So,
yeah, I did it because I thought it was if it was your turn, you didn't have to sing, which is why I didn't sing last week.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, well, this one, it's actually a console, and there's so much to tell you about this, so I'm not going to go through all the details. You can jump online and find out more information on it.
Are we guessing again?
No, you'll never guess this one.
Is it the Vectrex?
Oh, I don't know.
Good guess, like it. Want to give a shout out to Edinburgh Retro PC who let us borrow this for this specifically, and so we could do a tech bite on it. So thanks to George from Edinburgh Retro PC.
Thank you,
George. Check out their thing on Facebook. You can actually go to their events in Edinburgh where you can go and join up with a group of guys, and they bring their old consoles and go and play around them and stuff. They bring old Mega Drives and Dreamcasts, and it's amazing. It's pretty cool stuff.
It's like a Fight Club underground. It's
like
nobody talks about
it. It's like Robot Wars with old consoles.
The first rule of the Retro PC Club is you don't talk about it.
No RAM expansion.
No one will listen to you, that's why.
So yeah, so like Michael said, it is the Vectrex. I don't know if any of you guys know about it.
Indeed, no.
You do know about it?
Yeah.
Do you know about it, Michael?
Yeah, just from reading about it in history magazines and things, yes.
Yeah. So this console came out. It was actually announced in 1981 by a company called General Consumer Electronics, and they first went ahead and done it. They actually bought a warehouse where in the warehouse they found a bunch of old CRT tubes TVs, and had so many of them that they were trying to work out what to do with it. So they decided to try and make a game console from them. And they kind of got them and they tested it out, and they pitched the idea that it was going to be it was like something like a 5.3 inch screen or something, and nobody was really that interested in it until they changed it up. They wanted to make basically like an arcade, and like the vector based arcades like Asteroids and that kind of stuff. So they went and kind of reworked it, and they came up with the design that ended up being the final design. It was a 9 by 11 inch screen. And it was a self-contained console. It was one of the only ones at the time with its own screen built into it. And it was the only console that was a vector-based console. As I said, it kind of matched up with the arcade, so it was perfect for conversions like Asteroids. So they basically brought this out and they showed it off. It was during I think it was the Summer Chicago Electronics Show. And they showed it off, and it was 81, and then released that November. It was quite a quick turnaround. And it sold really, really well that a company called Milton Bradley, I don't know if you know who they are.
They make something.
They make board games.
Yeah.
Do you know the Game of Life?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, I used to play that at school all the time, last day of term.
Yeah. Well, they made that game. They made it was actually called something else before, and then it became the Game of Life. They shortened it down. But they've been around since 1860, so they've been like a long-running company, just like Nintendo. And if you actually go and look at their history is incredible. They worked with the army. They made games for soldiers, with board games and everything. And they came up through the education system and made games for schools to educate children because they thought it was a really good way to make them creative. So anyway, they saw the Vectrex console and they thought it was amazing. And they took it on board. They basically bought General Consumer Electronics and they took on the console. Unfortunately, when it came out, it was right at the time just of the video game crash of 1983. So they brought it out and there was a massive oversaturation of different consoles, spectrums, all this kind of stuff. And it just didn't get the recognition that it should have got. It was actually way ahead of its time, sort of kind of thing, because of the vector-based graphics. So unfortunately, it just didn't get like seen by a lot of people. It came out for about $200, I think it was, in America at the time. But they had games that were like conversions, and they changed the names of them for like copyright reasons, but they were basically almost straight conversions of certain arcade games. It also came with a touch pen, so you could actually draw on the screen and you could create animations and graphics. So they had like cartridges that slotted into the side, the bottom right hand side, and you could basically load up these games, and you had a touch pen that would like draw lines, vector based lines, and there are different packages that you could animate the stuff with. But the problem is that all the games were made by Milton Bradley, because nobody brought it up, no third parties jumped on board because of the crash. So it only had something like 28 games, but it was like Asteroids, the art packages, that kind of stuff. There was a music maker one as well, for a piano one or whatever. It was quite interesting. And they also came out with, as another peripheral, it was a 3D imager, and this superseded the Sega scope. So it was before even this, and they were like one of the first consoles that did a 3D headset, and it had a little spinning disc with the red, green and blue and a black bit in it that spun. It just spun really fast, and they could create 3D vector-based graphics. So you could actually get 3D graphics, and it only cost something like $50, which was probably quite a lot in the time. But again, it just never took off. So eventually it just kind of died out. But whilst it was at the height of it, Bandai got on board, and they released it in Japan under, it was called Vectrex Kumuro or something like that. It's a Japanese name. It was something about the speed of light, it was called. So it was really, really cool. We've actually got it here in the studio just now, and you play it, it's really quite impressive when you see how clean it is, how sharp it was. And it was different from raster-based graphics on consoles, because it was the vector-based, so you got really clean, sharp lines. The problem was it didn't have colour, so they got around that by having overlays. So you could put overlays, and people created like overlays with graphics on them, so you could make it like special designs for certain games. So there are all these things that were working really quite well, it just never got picked up. But they ended up kind of going bust. They kind of lost millions of pounds at Milton Bradley until Hasbro bought the company, and obviously we all know Hasbro and stuff. They decided to try and re-release it in 1988. They decided they were going to try and re-release the brand, Vectrex, and they were going to make a handheld console, a coloured handheld console. But it was just before Nintendo released the Game Boy.
Oh.
So, I don't think it was a coloured handheld, but it was going to be a handheld. So they decided that with the impending release of Nintendo's Game Boy, they kind of held off, and it kind of just died off. Fortunately, the guy who actually set up the company in the first place, who came up with the name and the design, he put it all into the public domain. So you can actually go online and you can get an iPhone and an iOS app that's completely free, and you can get all the games for it. You can get the 3D versions and everything, and it's got the colour overlays. But you can go into it, and it's like a little games room, and you can go and see the promotional videos. You can play the console, and they've even designed it so when you're playing the console, the Vectrex itself, they've got all the flaws that are built into the console. So they've got all the buzzing and the flickering screen. So it's just like playing it for real. So if you've got an iPad, go and check that out. Vectrex something Regeneration, I think it's called. But yeah, great console, and there's a massive underground scene for this now. The Fight Club thing. It's got a massive scene where people are doing homebrew for it, so they're still doing it to this day because it was a really good console. It just never got the recognition. So yeah, unlike some of the other ones that were kind of copycat consoles of the Spectrum and everything that you never see again, this one was actually a really good console, kind of ahead of its time, like I said. And yeah, people are still making stuff for it now, so you can get like cartridges that have got 71 games in one and stuff. So check it out, the Vectrex. We're actually going to have a thing on Games on Series 3, that's going to be the Tech Bite, the Vectrex console, so you want to check that out, because I'm going to be showing some of the stuff off, some of the games and everything. But yeah, we've got here for a little bit of time, so thanks to George for that again. Yeah, awesome stuff.
Yeah, Milton Bradley's like one of those super sad companies in video games, because they've offered so much, but they don't get recognised. They also made another console called the Microvision.
Microvision, that was the first cartridge-based console.
Indeed, and it's like nobody remembers it.
Yeah.
And it's such a shame that everybody will remember Atari, obviously, Sinclair, Commodore, but nobody remembers Milton Bradley. What's a shame, because they had two innovative consoles.
Yeah. Just unfortunate at the time, didn't it? So.
Yeah, I'm just looking at some of the images, and it looks great. It looks really, really cool, and as you say, very much ahead of its time when you see what they did with it back in the early 80s. So yeah, check it out, and it's cool. I can just about see the outline behind you there.
You were like beatboxing there. You went like a robot and were like.
That was nothing to do with Skype. I was just beatboxing because I felt this podcast needed a bit of beatboxing. So okay. And the great thing about that is it won't translate at all on the podcast because they'll just be like, "What are you talking about? I don't see visuals." So I know they'll get a nice clean recording of me and they'll wonder what was going on. But it's all good. It's fine.
Sorry, we're just laughing at your robot voice.
It's fine. It's cool. A robot with a cold today, actually. I'm a robot with a cold. That's pretty much it then. We've gone through everything that we're going to talk about today. And just a reminder to Kat that for her litter, she needs to play EastEnders. So just another reminder.
That sounds like I'm having many children.
Yeah, well, you're going to have very many bad game children, I think, at this level. All right, then. Final one then, Shaun. How can people get in touch or subscribe one more time? Just give us a very quick rundown.
Yeah, jump over to YouTube. That's youtube.com/SmallFryUnify. And you can listen to all the previous podcasts and upcoming ones. If you hit the notification tab, you'll know when they're coming up. That's a bit easier to get to, but if you want to go and check other ones, we're on Apple Podcast and SoundCloud as well. And check out our social media, send us some comments, and we'll give you a shout out.
Good. Woo. All right, that's it for this week. Enjoy your EastEnders then, Kat, and we will be back for episode 18 next week. Have a good week.
Take care, guys. Bye.